Do Arsenal have a serious midfield problem? Is there a lack of squad depth when you look at that Arsenal midfield? They got some bad news yesterday. Sami Mokbel reported that Arsenal midfielder Mikel Merino will be out for up to 2 months with a fractured shoulder. And it really couldn't have come at a worse time for Arsenal. And being brutally honest right now, their fan base is somewhat divided. And looking from the outside in, I can only say my fan base, Tottenham, is even more divided. And Jout has been trending. We lost to Newcastle. There's serious problems going on at Tottenham. The road to 25,000 subscribers is well and truly on. If we get it 500 likes, that would be absolutely glorious. Get down and do drop a like on the video. But are Arsenal in a midfield crisis? Now, let me go a little bit deeper in that. The next 8 games for Arsenal are absolutely huge. They've got a North London derby away. They've got Manchester City away, which Manchester City, if they were to win, would already be 4 points clear in a Premier League title race. They've got Atalanta sandwiched in between a League Cup game, a North London derby, and Manchester City. Arsenal will play 4 games in 7 days. Now, surely the Bolton fixture will be moved to the following week. But Atalanta away, Tottenham away, and Manchester City away. Arsenal have to win all 3 games, which is going to be an extremely tough ask. The Tottenham game, form goes out the window. The North London derby is one of those fixtures where Tottenham, even during the Invincibles time with the Thierry Henrys, with the Dennis Bergkamps, didn't lose. But last year, Arsenal didn't have to get out of first gear last season, and they beat us. The season before that, they went 2-0 up and was like, you know what? Come and attack us. We're prepared. The Atalanta game is going to be an extremely tough test for them as well. I would never want to play an Italian team away in the Champions League. Admittedly, they got absolutely destroyed by Inter Milan at the San Siro. And Atalanta haven't had the best of starts to the season. They've lost to Torino. They beat Lecce 4-0. They're currently sitting 12 in Serie A. And Arsenal, of course, do play Inter Milan away as well in the Champions League. But when you look at their fixtures Arsenal have got coming up, do they have a lack of senior squad depth to that midfield? No Mikel Merino for the Tottenham game due to that fractured shoulder. No Declan Rice for the Tottenham game. Is it going to be Jorginho and Partey? Is it going to be Jorginho and Havertz? Declan Rice, of course, is going to be suspended for that game. There's been a lot of, it's a very controversial subject. There's been a lot of talk on Sky Sports with regards to ex-referees coming out and speaking on the matter. I think Arsenal defensively should be okay. I think they should beat Atalanta due to their recent form hasn't been the best. Defensively, you know, I think they did relatively well to stay in that game against Brighton, and they still had a lot of clear-cut chances. But when you look at the midfield options they're going to have for the Tottenham game, are they, you know, is there already issues in that midfield? Do they have enough depth? Because there's been rumours that Jorginho, there was a potential fitness problem, which is why he didn't feature, hasn't featured too much in the 3 games of the season against Everton, against Brighton, Aston Villa, and of course, first game of the season against Wolves. Is there, and like, if you're an Arsenal fan, Chelsea fan, Liverpool fan, City fan, whoever you support, what is your thoughts looking at Arsenal's next 3 or 4 league games? This is what I'm going to show you what I think Arsenal should play against Tottenham. However, I don't think this is the same team they should play against Manchester City. If they play this game against Manchester City, the form they're in, the form Erling Haaland's in, it could be a long day at the office. Now, Do they potentially give a game to a Wanyeri? I don't really know. Now, people are going to be like, what on earth are you doing? This lineup makes absolutely no sense. Please stop. That's probably going to be what the general response is going to be. However, you've got to hear me out on this, because I think this, on the counter-attack against Tottenham, I expect Tottenham to have majority of the possession, because that's our game plan. This, if I was an Arsenal fan, if I was Mikel Arteta, this is the lineup I would personally play against Tottenham, knowing the fact that Tottenham are extremely vulnerable to counter-attacks. This is the lineup I would play. Obviously, it's going to be a 4-3-3. I'd go David Raya in goal, obviously. Picks itself. Ben White, Saliba. I've accidentally put Saliba in twice. Apologies for that. But I bet if they could have him twice, then they absolutely would. But of course, it's going to be Gabriel. Now, I would go Saliba, Gabriel, Timber, Partey, Havertz, Odegaard, Saka, Sterling, Trossard. Sterling has played false nine a number of games at Manchester City. On the counter-attack, that front three could be absolutely devastating. Tottenham, it only took one pass to cut us open from Newcastle, and we were all over the shot. You know, we absolutely battered Newcastle for possession, for shots on target, for set pieces. We won on every single stat other than the scoreline. But do you guys think at present that team is it? I think when you go up against Atalanta, you bring in Declan Rice back in. When you go up against City, you bring Declan Rice back in. I think Thomas Partey could quite easily play the number 6 on his own. Havertz in at number 8 and Odegaard more in an advanced 10. Saka on the right, Trossard on the left, and Sterling. And the reason I'm choosing Sterling is Sterling has a very good record against Spurs. You know, he scored a number of goals against us. It's a big game to put him in. If you don't play him, do you put Kai Havertz in the number 9? And do you put Leandro Trossard up top with Gabriel Martinelli on the wing? Do you put Kai Havertz back down the middle? Do you put Jorginho and Partey in the midfield? But there's almost a sense of panic within the Arsenal fan base. Let's be brutally honest here. If Declan Rice does not get sent off, Arsenal do not lose that game. They do not lose that game. If Declan Rice does not get sent off. Let's be brutally honest. Arsenal would have probably won that game 2 or 3-0. What are your thoughts in terms of Arsenal? I think there's a panic in the fan base. Manchester City are already a couple of points clear at this stage. You cannot afford to drop any points. And I think there was a big reaction in terms of from a number of people with regards to the sending off. There was a lot of points in that game where the referee made huge mistakes for both sides. Dermot, I think his name is Dermot Gallagher on Sky Sports yesterday, said that a different view on it, that he basically said João Pedro should have been booked. And it's kind of like exploded the Premier League fans in terms of the inconsistencies of the referees is absolutely mind-blowing. Now, the next 3 games are huge for Arsenal. If they beat us at the North London Derby, I'm going to be honest right now, I don't think they will. I think that'll be a draw or Tottenham win. I think we will bounce back. If they don't win the North London Derby and they lose to City, the Premier League title race for Arsenal could be over. Now, why I'm saying don't panic is we are only on game week 3. We're on game week 3. Arsenal haven't lost a game yet. Arsenal are only 2 points off of Manchester City. Liverpool look very good as well. I don't necessarily think there should be any panic right now. If they go and beat Manchester City at City, it changes absolutely everything. It changes everything in terms of the overall look at the rest of the Premier League. Manchester City, of course, have got huge fixtures coming their way as well. The only thing that I potentially would say favours Manchester City for that that fixture against Arsenal is the fact that Arsenal have an away trip on the Tuesday or Wednesday against the likes of Atalanta, whereas Manchester City are at home to Inter Milan. Now, Inter Milan is going to be a very tough game. Of course, Inter Milan do play Arsenal as well, but City have got some tough fixtures in there. Newcastle United away will not be easy. Wolves away will not be easy. North London, sorry, not North London Derby, a game against City. Their Champions League fixtures, I expect City to blitz Sporting, Sparta Prague, Slovan Bratislava, Inter Milan. Their November run is relatively hard. Tottenham, Palace away, Brighton away, Liverpool in there. You know, it's going to be an extremely testing season. This game's coming thick and fast, but I don't think Arsenal fans should be panicking right now. I'll be brutally honest. I don't think they should be panicking. They're in a just a little bit of a, you know, it's not going to plan in terms of your overall result against Brighton didn't go to plan. But I don't think there should be a panic within the fan base. Looking at it from the outside in, looking at other football teams in the league, you know, they have to go and bring 2 players in January. I'll be brutally honest, they have to. But I think this lineup against Spurs is strong enough to get the right result. Obviously, I don't think it will happen, but I do think it's more than a strong enough team. And then you bring back Declan Rice for the City game and you go Partey, Rice, Odegaard. But I think Raheem Sterling definitely has a point to prove. And I think Raheem Sterling against Tottenham, looking at that exact team right there, I don't think he's as bad a player as everyone else is kind of making out to be. He's won Premier League, he's won FA Cups, he's won League Cups, won Charity Shields, played in Champions League finals. That team is more than capable of going and getting a result in a North London derby. We'll have to wait and see, but are Arsenal in a midfield crisis? Let us know down below. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you all soon.